Hi everyone, and welcome to SWPL My Story. And today we are joined by Lucy Ashworth Clifford. How are you, Lucy?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Thanks. Thanks so much for joining us. How is the prep going for your big game tomorrow?
Good. Yeah. It's been a cold week, but we've been indoors and getting the grind on. So yeah, I think we'll be all right.
Brilliant. So it was a massive story this week across the league. Your return after 14 months out. Another player played with an dreaded ACL injury. But how did it feel when you got the call and you knew that you were going on and you were going to step over that white line for the first time in over a year?
Yeah, it was mega. A few other girls asked if I was nervous and that, but I don't think I was that nervous. I was just wanted to get on with it. It was a long process, and it was just like the final reward of getting through the whole 14 months. And then when the girls like came over and did that stuff, like, I'm so not into that, but it's a nice little touch. So yeah, not bad. It was a good day, very good day.
Yeah, I've never seen that before, but it was a great moment, and obviously a lot of the media picked up on it, which I'm sure you were delighted about.
Yeah, it was mad. You only get one of those when you've like won the league or something, so I don't know why I got one, but no, it's a nice touch, and it just shows like the group of girls that we've got and the backing that they've given me throughout the whole process. So yeah, not bad.
So obviously there's a lot of study at the moment going into the ACL injuries, why female players are so susceptible to them. We've seen so many high profile ones in the last year. So can you just kind of talk us through a little bit like what the process was for you from the initial injury diagnosis through the rehab and then getting to a point where you're maybe training on your own and then back with the team and then contact. So because obviously a lot of the viewers will either have been through this process, maybe currently going through it just now. So it'd be good to hear from someone playing at the top level that we're all just human and we all need to go through the same processes.
Yeah. Well, it seems like ages ago. Like honestly, it feels. But then it's weird because it feels like I've never even done it. But it was the end of November. It was actually in the last Rangers game. Not the last one, but the one that I last played in. Um, and it just like happened. It's like the cliche, like you hear something pop, you know what you've done. I probably could have walked off, but I got a stretcher off. Feeling a bit dramatic. But I just knew at that time. And it just I just knew I was done. For a long time. So I went in after the stretcher and just faffed about for a bit. And then the next day I think I got a scan the next day, which was like that's a quick turnaround, and I was very lucky to get that. And then I got the results, and the guy at Celtic phoned and was like, "Look, it's." But I think I'd already prepared myself mentally for the answer. It was just like getting that confirmation. So it's just like, "Look, it's gonna be a you're out for a long time. You've done this, this, and this." And I was like, "All right, nice one." But like I never like cried or anything. It was a bit weird. Like I just don't think I ever really registered it. So I was just like, just got on with it. And then there was like a process in between waiting for surgery. So you either like you've got a big swelling, and you have to wait for that to go down, or they can't even like cut inside you or whatever. And then wait for that to go down, and then they can finally like get started on the surgery. The surgery itself was only like I think an hour and a half. And then obviously you're given lots of painkillers. So the week after is not too bad because you just drugged up for a good week. And then it is very like painful. I will never wish it on my worst enemy. And there's been like since I've done it, there's been a few girls like on our team that have done it, and I just like dread it because it's just not a nice experience at all. But then after like a few weeks when you're off the painkillers and you start in like getting the mobilization going, you start to feel like less of like I don't know the word, but like less immobile. You get into the gym a lot more. You start walking again. Like that was a whole process, just getting into walking, getting off the crutches. So like for a while it was like demoralizing and dehumanizing, but then it doesn't take long before it picks up and you start doing a lot more and get a bit more confident in your leg. And then there's like a 6, 7 month process of just doing the same like rehab every like 3 or 4 days out of the week. and just like like hammering the gym. Like I know people have like gone through it before and they've explained like it's just a lot of gym, but I didn't think it was going to be as much gym as it was. Um, and then you have to hit like certain benchmarks, do a lot of testing. Like my physio was really good in the sense that I had to do about 40 tests before I come back, but the more tests that you get, the less likely you are to like re-tear it. So even though in the long run, even like in the short term, it was annoying having to do all these tests, like in the long run, I think it's beneficial. To get those numbers, you have to get like 95% strength on like your right. So I did my left leg, so I need to get 95% strength compared to my right leg. As soon as you hit that mark, you'd like free to go. So like I hit that in maybe like October, November, and that's when I pushed on with training. It was like I wasn't thrown back into training, but it did feel like I just went from the gym every single day to then, okay, I can go and put a bib on and just be an outfield player. And it just like in that whole 9 months, like just completely like erased from my memory. It's like I never left. And then it just pushed on from there. You know what it's like. You come back, you do a bit of non-contact, then contact, and then work your way to getting into the subs bench again, and then hopefully kick on and get a few more minutes. So yeah, in the that's a long story, but short story.
No, no, not at all. So, how did you find it? Obviously, I've been speaking with quite a few players who have went through this process, but how did you find it mentally? Was that probably a bit more of a hardship than the physical side? Because with the physical side, you've got a set plan. They know as soon as it's done, the physios and the medical team know the process that you need to go through. But to deal with that mentally as a professional footballer, how you're going to get yourself back up to those levels. Is that something that you found difficult at times?
I think for probably like the first, so before surgery, after surgery, and probably like the next 7 months or 7, 8 months, I was like just on it. Like I just wanted to get it done with. I knew it was gonna like in my head, I was like, this is gonna be 9 months on the dot. That's it. And then I came to like a very harsh realization at about 8 months that that was not going to be the case. But like everyone's different. I think it probably didn't help when like Beth Mead and Miedemar and stuff, they was around the same period as me and they were just like smashing it. Like they was back in training, um, like quite a lot sooner than I was. And it was like that kind of like comparison was probably like a negative thing like on the mental health thing. But again, then realized like they're different people, they're in different situations, just stuff like that. And I then it got to like a point where it got a little bit draining. Like I was so focused on like hitting these benchmarks that then I stopped. Like there was like I was going like that, and everyone was telling me like it should like go like that, and I was just going up and up. And then I had my first like I didn't hit one of the things that I was meant to, and I was like, oh God, like this is it now. Like I'm done. Like it's gonna take another year, but it didn't. Obviously, I just push on with these things, and then I had like three more setbacks after that. Um, you just have to keep grinding. It was so frustrating. Then that was the time. So from finding out, having the surgery, and then didn't cry throughout the whole time. And then I got to about 8 months and didn't pass one of these tests. And I was like, that's when I first cried about 8 months later. So I think it all built up, and I think that's what I'm usually like. And then, yeah, just it was mad. It was mad.
So it was great to see you obviously making your return at the weekend against Montrose, but it doesn't get much bigger this week. Tomorrow, actually, you've got your League Cup semi-final against Rangers. So is it something that obviously you're going to have to play in these big games, but it's probably a real test for you to see where you are and get thrown back into it. It might be the best thing being put into that kind of environment right away because it'll just be if you can compete at this level, just coming back from injury, then the rest of it will take care of itself.
Yeah, definitely. It's obviously a massive game. When these games come around, like our whole focus like is just bang on that game. There's probably a lot of nerves knocking about, and obviously we've got a new manager, but it's been intense, but it's been a good intense. Everyone's on the A game, everyone's focused. But like for myself, like you said, it's gonna be a different level to like what has been in like the past and what training's been like. I'm barely keeping up in training, so we'll see what it'll be like. Obviously, this was the fixture that I did it in last time. I think that's the only apprehension I've got. It's tough. those girls are great players as well, but it's not something that we can't do. We've beat them before. So I think it'll be a good game. It'll always be a good game, and I think we've got a good crowd behind us as well. So be a nice one. I'm excited. We'll see what we can do.
Oh, brilliant. And thanks so much for your time today. I know that the viewers will really take a lot from it. A lot of our viewers are in academies and grassroots levels and obviously at the top level as well. And unfortunately, just the way that football is, a lot of them will have to contend with serious injuries over their career. And I always think it's a great thing to hear it from players who are playing at the top level, have went through these setbacks, but they're back again and they've fully recovered from it. So no, well done on that, and I wish you all the best for your big game tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And thanks everyone for joining us on SWPL My Story.